Now this session is going to be just a little bit different, and you may be wondering, well, how does this fit with becoming a ventriloquism? But you're going to see. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story of something that happened to me a while back. Now what happened was this. I went to my mom's house, and she was having some phone difficulties, and so I was going to go up and follow her phone line and find out where the disconnect was, because her phone was real staticky. And so I'm following the phone wire, and it goes up into the attic, and so I climb up the attic ladder, and I get in the attic, and I pull the little string for the light, and pull the little string for the light, and pull the little string for the light, and there's no light. The light bulb was out. So I went back downstairs, grabbed a flashlight, grabbed a screwdriver, not just any screwdriver. This was like a man's screwdriver. So I got big man screwdriver here, got a flashlight here. I climb up, I'm back up in the attic now, and it's dark, and I'm shining that flashlight, and I find that phone cord. And I'm following that phone cord along on the floor, and I'm following along, and then I hit a place. And I couldn't get to the other side because there were boxes on both sides, and then these beams came down like a V, and it was so tall I'd have to kind of like do a little ballerina jump just to be able to get on the other side. And I wasn't too excited about that. And I did shine my light over to see if it was wood floor, because in our attic we had some wood floors and we had some floors that were not wood, and I just wanted to make sure that it was actually a wood floor over there. So I shined it, saw the brown, felt comfortable about that, but I still didn't want to do it. So I shined the light at the boxes, and these boxes, they'd been up there for a long, long time, and there were some cobwebs, and I remember thinking, if I push a box, these little things may crawl out, and I really didn't want to do that. So I went back, shined my light again, and there's that V, and so I thought, well, I'm just going to take a jump over. And so I raised one leg, and I just kind of hopped over to the other leg, and when I made that hop to the other side, okay, I've got one leg down, I'm on the other side, I'm on that what I thought was wood. And then suddenly I sunk a little, just enough for me to know, I'm getting ready to go for a ride. And so I closed my eyes, and it was like something just sucked me down, and I was falling. I remember thinking, I'm falling, and then something hit me, and I thought, well, that wasn't very far. It was the top of the kitchen cabinets. That's what hit me in the head. Hit me in the head right here, and kind of tilted me a little, and then there was a table right underneath, and when I came down, now this is going to sound like I am making this up, and I am not. This is a true story. Hit my head, went down, right on that table was leftover birthday cake, my birthday cake from the day before, and as I felt, my face went right into that cake, exploded cake all around the room. There was actually a picture on the other side, nice family picture. Cake hit that picture, flipped it around backwards. I mean, that was a cake explosion in my face, and I hit with such a force, it flipped me back over. I came down on the other side, and now when I came down on the other side, I had the screwdriver in the hand that I came down on, and when I hit my head and the screwdriver at the same time, and then I stood up. Yes, I could stand. I stood up, and I opened my eyes, and my first thought was, this doesn't look like the attic. And then I looked up, and there was this huge old massive hole in the ceiling, and I remember thinking, I am not that big. It's like a big old hole in the ceiling. Then I realized I couldn't see very well, and I started looking around, and everything was blurry, and I started turning around in a circle, and I'm bleeding from both sides of my head. And I'm turning around in a circle going, I can't see. I can't see. And then I realized, see, I'm wearing contacts right now, but a lot of times I wear glasses, and it had knocked my glasses off. So no problem, I could see, I just had knocked my glasses off. And so looked over, oh no, glasses, put them back on, and then took a deep breath, and my lungs, they just burned and hurt. And a few things I didn't tell you. One is, when my face hit that cake, I hit the cake, but I missed the knife that was in the cake. And then when it flipped me over and I hit that screwdriver, I hit it so hard that I cracked the case of that screwdriver. Now, not long afterwards, I started shaking. I couldn't stop shaking. About 15 minutes it took me to just really calm down and still my lungs. I sucked in so much of that insulation, my lungs burned for a week. I coughed for a month, ran 101-degree fever. And as I drove away that day, I remember I drove about 10 minutes, and I pulled over and I parked. And I sat there in the car, and I had this incredible peace, because I knew for sure that if I had died, if I would have hit that knife just right, or that screwdriver would have turned, or if I would have broken my neck, I knew that if I would have died, I knew that I was going to heaven, because I've given my life to Jesus Christ. And if you've never done that, I want you to know that is the greatest decision anyone can ever make. Now, I know you're wondering, what does this have to do with ventriloquism? This is it. if you're going to do something, do it for a point. Like I shared that story. And the whole point of that story was to bring you to the point to start thinking about you and whether or not you're going to heaven someday. Well, in ventriloquism, see, I used to do talent shows, and I would get up and I would make people laugh, and then I realized when I left, the laughter stopped. Yeah, I can make people laugh for a little while, but if I can give them a truth or a point or a life principle that impacts who they are or how they live, then I haven't left them with just a fun time for a while. I've given them something meaningful. And so I want to challenge you, as you use ventriloquism, there are lots of ways to use it to impact people's lives. Especially if you know Jesus Christ and you've given your life to Him, it is an incredible way for you to share Bible stories, to share God's love, to share His truth. So many things you can teach through a puppet, or as they would say, through a mannequin American. You can teach all sorts of life truth. Scripture, you can teach right through it. So let everything simply have a point. And that's the point.